this is the Provoked Prawn, and this is the best headset that Corsair has ever made, the Corsair HS80 RGB Wireless. This is an unboxing and review video. I'm going to be talking to you about why, in my opinion, the HS80 is the best headset available from Corsair, and why they've finally got it right. This is a really nice headset with a good quality microphone, some really nice features that include high-res audio, but most importantly, it's the most comfortable headset Corsair's ever developed, and that is fantastic news because I really liked the Virtuoso Wireless XT, but I found it to be remarkably uncomfortable. And this headset is more affordable and is ridiculously comfortable, with one caveat that I'll get to later on. Now, this is a review. I've been using this headset for a while, and I'm going to talk to you about why the HS80 is a fantastic bit of kit. It is a headset that's designed to work with PC, but will also work with PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5, apparently wirelessly, although I will say with one caveat that usually Corsair headsets perform better on PC than anywhere else. It also comes with Dolby Atmos to use on PC. You get a license included with the headset that automatically activates when you set it up, so that's really fantastic, and I'll show you some of that later on within Windows. This headset has a slipstream wireless connection which gives you up to 60-foot range, and it has 20 hours of battery life, but it also shines if you plug it in with the USB-C cable, where you get 96 kHz 24-bit audio high-res on PC, which is great. It also has a standard frequency response of 20 Hz to 40,000 Hz and 50mm drivers that deliver a great sound. Now, one of the first things that you'll notice about this headset is that it has a different design from the usual Corsair headsets. It's actually very similar to the SteelSeries setup. They have this new headband design which looks very similar to a SteelSeries ski-goggle design at the top. There's a slight adjustment on the underside. I'm going to show you how it's different. I also talked about the comfort that this offers and the setup of that too. So Corsair says that this headset was inspired by their Void line of headsets. However, it is far superior in my mind to the Void lineup. A much nicer headset for a number of reasons. It's also very good quality. Now, I've been using the microphone from this headset to do this voiceover. I'm going to use it through the entirety of the video. The mic has a flip to mute functionality, and it also has side tone so you can hear yourself talking, which is a bonus. But as you can hear, a good quality microphone. Inside the box you obviously get the headset, the slipstream wireless dongle, and a braided USB-C cable. This uses USB-C connection to connect to your PC, and as I said, that's where you get the best quality audio. If you plug that in, you can then get 96 kHz 24-bit high-res audio. Within Corsair's iCue software, you also have the ability to switch between a number of equalizer settings that are set up in there and customize your own, but you also have access to use Dolby Atmos or Windows Sonic sound as well, so you have various options. You can see they include documentation for the Dolby Atmos license in the box, but basically it's a plug and play thing. As long as you have the Dolby Access app installed on your PC and iCue, it will recognize the headset and give you access to that as well. So that's brilliant because you then don't have to pay for a license, and you get a upgraded virtual surround sound offering direct from Dolby, which gives you good positional audio. Audio on this headset is also fantastic. It's done a good job of delivering really good quality sound. Now, a bit more about the design. You can see what I was talking about. So it has a nice setup to it with very similar to SteelSeries. However, it does feel very solid and well built, and you'll note the stretch on it too. The ear cups are also fantastic because rather than being round like on the Virtuoso, these are actually ear-shaped, and I've found them to be superb. It also has a really comfortable setup. I'll show you a bit more of in a minute, but you can see some of that flip to mute functionality there. There's also some basic controls for volume adjustment and the power controls on the back there, as well as a little LED indicator. Now here you can see how that headband works. Basically you put your head on the inside and then it adjusts to give you a comfortable sort of squashiness on top. You can see a little bit of padding there, and I found it actually remarkably comfortable. One of the most comfortable headsets I've used. It actually compares with the Astro 50, which has been my favorite for a long time, and this setup is really good too. So here you can see some of that volume wheel adjustment, satisfying volume wheel action. That volume wheel you can also press in to switch between the different equalizer settings, but only if iCue is running, sadly. There's a flip to mute mic. As I said, you can see there's an indicator that flashes red when it's muted. Because I haven't got it actually plugged into the PC, it's not going into the standard mode. Usually when it's flipped down and you're using it on PC, it will go white to let you know that it's unmuted, and then red to tell you when it's muted. But there is side tone on it, as I said, as well. Now these ear cups are definitely the most satisfying thing about this headset in my opinion. They are a cloth material with memory foam cushioning. They're also nice and deep and large enough to cover the ear. I've had problems with Corsair's ear cups on the Virtuoso, which is their flagship headset, where they squashed my ears and caused unnecessary pressure on the outside and top and bottom of the ears, made it uncomfortable to wear. This headset does not have that issue. I can wear this headset for hours and hours and hours. I've been wearing it all day for working, listening to music, watching films, and having Zoom calls and whatever else, and found it comfortable, and then go off in as well to be able to play games and to do video editing in the evening and just still feel that it's really comfortable. I said when I reviewed the Astro 50 that it was like having little puffs of heaven or fluffy clouds on your ears. This is a similar setup to that. It's remarkably comfortable. The one thing that I will note, however, though, is that you can extend the headband, and I showed some of how to do that earlier on with those clips, but I found that it's not quite large enough, and sometimes because of that headband design it kind of pulls up a bit, and therefore I end up pulling the headset down a little bit. So if you've got a massive head, you might struggle with the size of it. However, it's still one of the most comfortable headsets I've tried, and a fantastic offering from Corsair. You can see the way the ear cups are set up, that the turn and twist with the connection to the headband. So rather than extending from the headband in the usual way, you obviously have that affair on top with a strap, and then you get the adjustment in the ear cups, and it's a really good setup and it fits really nicely. It's got a fantastic clamping force as well, so it's not going to fall off the head. It's a good solid setup there, and it also looks really nice. You can see there's a little bit of subtle RGB lighting on the ear cup with the Corsair logo. This is adjustable within Corsair's iCue software and lets you tweak the colors on that. You can also turn the brightness up and down. Now this headset has 20 hours of battery life, and then obviously you need to plug it in with a USB-C cable. When you do that, you then also get notification when it's fully charged within the headset, so you can unplug it again, which is obviously a bonus. There is obviously the consideration that when you are plugged in, you'll get a better sound quality though, so that's worth bearing in mind. Now a little close-up shot of the strap system again, and showing you how you adjust that. So there's basically Velcro on the inside of the straps, and you can pull it off and either shorten it or lengthen it to tighten or loosen that strap. Obviously the more you loosen it, the closer your head then gets to the actual top of the headband rather than the material bit. But even when it's extended all the way, which is what I've had to do, you don't find that you're getting a lot of horrible pressure on the top of your head from that top of the headband. However, as I said, I feel like if you have a really, really big head, you will struggle with this because it might not go low enough down on your head to cover your ears completely. I found that sometimes it sort of moves up a little bit, but those ear cups certainly make up for it. This cloth material is incredibly comfortable and really soft. The memory foam cushioning is really good too, so it's really gentle on the ears and delivers good sound. Also, obviously, doesn't block out as much external noise as something like a faux leather setup, but it doesn't get your ears that hot either, and so it's easy to wear all day, even on the warmer days. One thing of note though is that you cannot remove these ear cups. They're not possible to take off. Corsair doesn't recommend doing it. Apparently it is possible in one way, but they don't recommend doing it, and so that's a consideration for the future, but I don't think it'll be an issue because you won't necessarily want to swap these with anything else because they're just that comfortable and really enjoyable. So what you're seeing is a headset that's thoroughly enjoyable to use. It delivers great quality with large drivers that are capable up to 24-bit 48 kilohertz over wireless, so that's higher than most wireless gaming headsets, delivering a really good quality sound in game and for music and movies and things, but also with a high res audio. It's even higher when you plug it in on PC, and it has, most importantly, superb comfort and a really good looking style and finish to it, and yet it's reasonably priced for a headset of this quality with this sort of features. Sadly, obviously lacking things like Bluetooth, and there's no 3.5mm connection, and as I said, it will function best on PC. They say it will work on PlayStation 5 and PlayStation 4, but usually with that sort of thing you don't get all the same qualities. You wouldn't have virtual surround sound, for example, on PlayStation, and obviously you wouldn't have high res audio as well, so those are two considerations that are worth bearing in mind. But fantastic otherwise. Now I'm going to dive into Corsair's iCue software and show you some of the tweaks that you can do in there. Here we are within Corsair's iCue software, and you can see that when you have the wireless receiver and the headset, you have them both as different options in here. The wireless receiver essentially just lets you set it up to pair with other things and to update the firmware on it, but the most action you get is in the tab for the headset itself, and you can see that you can change the lighting. So one of the quick things to do is if you go into the device settings, you can see you can update the firmware, you can check for updates there, and you can also adjust the brightness of the RGB. Obviously adjusting this, turning it down, then will save battery and make it last longer, although there's not a great deal of RGB lighting, still worth noting. You'll also see other things for things like voice prompts to let you know when the headset's fully charged or running low on charge. You get an audible cue within the headset to let you know, and you can also set a shut off so you save battery when you're in wireless mode from here too. You can adjust the ear cup settings for different colors and go through a number of different RGB settings within here as well. One of the things that's interesting is that the headset has a various number of EQ settings that you can see here. Now, the volume wheel, you can push that in to switch between these modes. So going between them, for example, goes between these various different standard setups, and allows you to change between those equalizer presets. You can obviously create your own and then adjust it to suit your personal preference and the way you like things, and if you don't like it you can reset it back to default. So fairly straightforward. But one thing of note is that this system, as in pressing the button on the ear cup to adjust the EQ settings, does not work when iCue is closed. So if it's not running in the background, for example if you haven't got it to start when Windows starts up, then you won't be able to change between those equalizer settings. However, obviously if you have it set the way you like it, that's not necessarily a problem anyway. The other thing of note is that when it's plugged in, you can go into Windows sound settings, you can go device properties, additional device properties for the headset, and then advanced, and you'll see that from the drop down you can set it to 8-channel 24-bit 96 kilohertz audio. That's the high-res audio. This is plugged in with the USB-C connection, but also on wireless you'll get this 24-bit 48 kilohertz audio. You also have the option for spatial surround sound. You can see I've got Dolby Atmos here, and there's actually a little notification in the top right here which usually pops up when you plug that headset in to let you know you need the Dolby Access app, which you can get from the Microsoft Store. But once you've done that, the headset is usually automatically recognized, and you can see that when I click on there it is set as the HS80 and that's the default device, and then you can go into it and test it out. You can change the settings, and there are a number of different settings in here to go between and I actually find that these to be really good. You can change things like performance mode for positional accuracy and virtual surround sound. Obviously Dolby's really good with their setup of virtual surround sound offerings. You get the best experience if the game supports Dolby Atmos, but this will work to give you a good virtual surround sound whatever you're playing, and you can adjust from in here as well, which is actually preferable in my mind than using what iCue has to offer in terms of the equalizer settings. So there you have it. So hopefully what you've seen is a fantastic headset. There is one thing else that I want to note about it, and that is the wireless range is good. However, I've found that when you're out of the wireless range, for example, if you go to make a sandwich or something and your kitchen is miles away from your PC, you will get an audible beep in the headset to let you know that it's out of range, and that beep is thoroughly annoying because it just keeps going and going and going until you come back into range. So I'd recommend taking the headset off rather than taking it with you. That is a minor gripe, but it is painful and it is frustrating to listen to. This has been the Provoked Prawn. Hope you found this video useful. Let me know in the comments if you've got any questions. Thanks for watching. This has been the Provoked Prawn. Hope you found this video useful, interesting, hilarious, or otherwise. Take a look at these other videos that I think you might find interesting as well. And have a look at the description for links and other information you might find useful. Click that join button to see the benefits of being a member of my YouTube channel. And most importantly, have a great life.